You have, but it was never said or endorsed by Graeme.
How many Aboriginal people vote for Graeme Campbell? You don't know. How many of those Sims have voted? You don't know. How dare you stand here and defend him? You don't know.
But I actually tried my best to do the best I can for Aboriginal. That's why my office is always full of Aboriginal people.
Right.
You don't find them down at total office. They're in my office because we try and help them.
And behind closed doors you call them gins.
Aye. Look.
And you know what does a gin mean to you? What does that word mean to you? What does it say? You're a woman is the same as us.
Well, I know Graeme wouldn't say something.
Only different
He
with their
wouldn't say
skin.
it, but he didn't defend us. That's what we're saying. He didn't defend us, did he?
Your pointless giving the media a field day on this. People just
Well, at least we got our
You
point.
gave them a field day.
Yeah.
They didn't even defend us.
Yes. Come on, you men. Come and defend us. Come on, Greg. Come here. All the community people have voted.
My job won't be the community people. I get support because I do things for Aboriginal people.
Yeah, because
That's
you
why I
can't get the
support.
votes back now because they already voted.
For a man of your calibre, Graeme, you could have used a better word than the
I
word
didn't
gin.
use the word Greg.
No, but you was on TV last night. You was on TV last night. You had your opportunity to express, to turn it around what Alf Barwick said. Alf Barwick said the word gin. You could have got on TV and said, look, I don't
What
quite
you got
agree with
here,
you.
Greg,
You used the
as
word
you know
geography.
well know, is a massive beat-up, and it's a massive beat-up, probably on the behalf of Mr. Taylor.
Alf Barwick needs to go and
No,
get
it's
it
not.
right, but don't
We
put
come
our
here as
people down.
independent people.
We're
We've got a right to come here. We're
We've
not
got
for
mothers,
gins. That's what
Graeme.
we're
You've got
doing.
Aboriginal people standing in your
I
polling
said
booth,
I was
polling for
not-
you,
Yeah,
helping
and
to do
they'll
your
still be there.
campaign, and then you turn around.
I said it's not a term I would use.
Yeah, but Graeme,
I am not. Listen, Greg. I am not going to do your bidding
You
and
said-
get in the of getting attacking ordinary people. You go and take it up with them. Don't take it up with me. I didn't make the statement.
Did you send
I
a
think
letter?
there's something in wrong.
Did you send that same letter that Alf Barwick wrote
No, I didn't.
around to your constituents?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'll just show you. I'll just show you the letter I sent around.
The same one, Graeme.
You haven't got the same one.
You blotted it out. The same thing's blotted out right there.
It is blotted
there it
out.
is. There it is. You blotted it out. But you sent that to all your constituents.
Of course.
Last night on TV, you had the opportunity of 50,000 viewers watching when you could have told them that they shouldn't have. Alf Barwick shouldn't have said what he said.
I didn't send it out. I
know
blotted
you-
it out.
I know you blotted
What
it
else
out.
do you want me to do? You want me to leave it in there?
I'm saying
For
you
heaven's
blotted.
sake.
No,
you
but
say
you had
blotting it out. Yes.
That's what you
And I've been looking after you for years and years. We've been looking after you for years.
And what you turn and do to us.
I didn't do anything to you. I didn't do anything. Barwick did it, not me. I didn't do it. Look,
Ian Taylor for the Australian Labor Party. I told every other Aboriginal to vote for Ian Taylor. And telling the full for the Australian Labor to vote for you.
that's right.
Well, you know what? No full-blood Aboriginal know how to vote. You paying them money, I believe.
That's not true.
I believe, and they
Well,
told
whether you believe it or not, it's not true. It is
It
not
is
true.
true.
No, it's not true. It's a lie.
Why don't you tell the truth?
Because I am telling the truth. You're
You're
the one
not
that's
a
lying.
truth. You're a liar.
Next time you want something,
I don't
you'll be into
I
my office again. You're always in.
don't ever in your entire life.
Good.
I'm talking. And as for you, Michelle,
Oh, as for you, what do you want to say to me?
I'll just tell you about your husband.
No, I know my husband. I know my husband.
And I know you very well, too.
Well, if you knew me better, you wouldn't be here carrying on the way you are.
Speak up for Aboriginals, you know?
We have never said anything about Aboriginal people. We never use that word. If you choose to believe other people, that's fine. But we haven't.
We heard. Yeah.
No, you don't. What did you hear?
We
That
heard
somebody used that word, not us. Not us. You obviously haven't heard. You have not heard right.
We never use the word.
We never used the word. Someone else did, not us. But if you don't,
We've
Now
been
listen,
fighting for your husband
Are you listening?
ever since he's been with the federal minister,
Are you
member
listening?
of the House Representative.
Are you listening?
Graeme Campbell, truth hurts. You're just like fucking Buddy Howard.
Ah, well. Happy lunchtime in Kalgoorlie.
You know, you've never seen it.
He's supporting his father, which is a shit.
Don't you support your family?
I am not a family. I'm just a bloody, what's your name? Drifter.
But it was never said. Come on, you know it was never said.
The TV coverage was appalling. That journalist is an absolute drongo. I mean, she said, I'm not a
Yeah, it is true. Graeme Campbell's son. But I'm Reggie's daughter.
Well, that's nice of you.
Better have a nice evening tonight for your debate.
So what comment did you make after?
Nothing. Nothing.
To the guy just there.
I just said that it was clearly misreporting. She'd made statements that simply weren't correct, factually correct.
Because you're not going to have control out of what happened outside. It's just going to be angry faces and you sort of stumbling over a few words and arguing with an Aboriginal woman. It's going to look bloody awful. I think you should put out a decent press statement on it and be done with it. Yeah.
Now, Greg Stubbs is a personal friend of mine, and what he's saying is he would like you to take the opportunity to make a statement like, well, I should have taken an opportunity to take a stand on it when I had the opportunity, but I missed my opportunity.
Look, I've just got to get in Kalgoorlie. I've got an appointment. I'll go and see Greg.
Jerome was just on the phone. He's heard about it. Graham, Jerome was just on the phone. He's heard about it in Halls Creek already. You know, and it has blown out of proportion. It's too late to put a lid on it.
What about we put something together this afternoon and face it to you in Campbell?
Well, how long are you going to be there? You're not going to
I'll
be
be
there.
back in an hour. I'll be back in a bit over an hour. Cost me 600 votes, I'd say. Up to 600 votes. I'm going the wrong way. Definitely a pecking order. Have we got a Macquarie dictionary in the office? Look, see if you can find the word gender.
It doesn't matter, we don't. It's still, that's the issue.
Want me to underline it?
So why do you give it to Graham?
Oh, that's why.
But it doesn't matter, it is a derogatory term.
Who said?
Huh?
Who said?
Oh, for goodness sake, I mean, don't go down that line.
What do you suggest I do, Michelle? What do you suggest I do?
But no, you have nothing to say.
What
Just say
do you suggest I do?
that it's got nothing to do with you. It is a derogatory term that you don't use.
Yeah, I've said that.
But there's no point putting a dictionary saying, oh, it doesn't say in the dictionary. I mean, what a lot of rubbish.
Well,
I mean,
Jim
that-
Williams told me out there it just it's in the dictionary.
Of course it's in the dictionary. It doesn't mean there's also shit in the dictionary. You don't call people shit. Oh, I do.
Political
I mean,
correctness,
it's
right?
exactly-
Well, I'm a wog and I'm proud of it.
I think they've done the damage to the ABC. I'll be all over ABC TV tonight.
How you going, Graham? All right?
How about it? Now listen, what's the position? I've got this fellow doing a documentary. Do you want to get this recorded?
Who's it for you?
Well, it's an ABC documentary for after the elections.
And, yeah, okay.
They're doing a documentary for...
Yeah,
Why don't we
you're
ask the
okay.
lady?
Yeah, yeah, I will.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye. Here we go. The start of Derby. The lady was scrutineering at Derby who's very concerned. So the Aboriginal women there are really worried and she's scrutineering and working.
See, now what happened,
That's a
that letter
start.
was a good one for us to use in some of the union towns and things, but we took out that line and ran with the letter read fine, and we just took it out. So since then, there's, you know, been people at work to whip up this, you know, Well, I'm frenzy against Graeme, so the women rang here this morning and Graeme said, yeah, come and see me, you know, they're bringing the press, I mean, there's nothing else they could do. So, of course, there was a couple of them that were really overreacting and made a big scene, so what is, yeah, it was a big scene.
And they run with it, and they make it sound a heck of a lot worse than it is. Yeah, well, and this is annoying a lot of people as well. Now, I go 10 pin bowling on Thursdays, and there was a little bit to do there about this.
Oh, right. Well, see, now what happened also, Greg, stop.
Graham's going to say something on the TV.
Okay. You want to ask me what the outcome of the meeting was?
Yeah, can you tell us what the outcome of the meeting has been?
Well, I had a meeting with a lot of the Aboriginal women from Kalgoorlie. They're deeply offended by the term that was used, and I certainly regret that Alf used the term, and I will be talking to Mr. Maverick about it. But I must say, this was a term used in a private letter, and I think the people who distributed the private letter got something to answer for.
And these sort of terms still keep coming up.
Are you happy with the outcome?
Yes.
Satisfied that Graeme is...
Yes.
Can you tell us if this affected your chances for Saturday?
Of course it has. It was a setup. I might also add, which I'm sure won't go to news, that the ABC and the Kalgoorlie Miner had this and didn't run it because they said it was nothing to do with me because it wasn't my letter. It was only GWN, which very inaccurately reported the proceedings. But that won't get to air either.
I'm happy that Graeme has come up here and talked to the women and felt the pain that the women have suffered in terms of the word that was used on TV, and that the women here have accepted Graeme's apology, and they're hoping that Graeme will take it up even further, and even with Alf Barwick. So,
how will this affect Graeme on Saturday?
Well, I'm not sure, but I know now that the Aboriginal people who are ready and able to vote have got an understanding now.
Sincerely, no. One spoke and went all through. Our children were taken away, sort of stuff. But
right across Western Australia, this is the GWN News Hour. Here's Vicky Gibbons.
The Kalgoorlie election campaign today, after comments aired yesterday referring to Aboriginal women as gins, protesters took to the streets.
What does that word mean? What does it say?
An ugly confrontation for Graeme Campbell today at the front of his electoral office. Aboriginal women protesting over so-called racist comments made by one of Mr Campbell's campaign helpers.
Yeah, but the damage is done. The damage is done. The ladies in the community have already voted.
The women are outraged over yesterday's claim by Mr Campbell that the word gin is not racist. The word was used by campaign supporter Alf Barwick in a letter to a union.
The Aboriginal women here and elsewhere, we feel insulted that Mr Campbell had the opportunity last night to make a statement on behalf
the
of
letter was circulated. It did not have any reference to that at all. It was simply not germane to the letter.
Mr Campbell says he's been set up and the whole matter has caused him enormous damage. Late this afternoon, in a meeting behind closed doors with the protesters, Mr Campbell said he deeply regretted Mr Barwick's use of the term. Gabriella Rosito, GWN News.
One of those is Forrest.
I didn't say deep, I said I regret it.
Trust me, Graeme, make a good film.
Oh, so we just keep the whole thing rolling and rolling. I mean, I don't make a statement. You put it on to air. I don't make a statement. You bag me up and down Dale. Probably cost me 1,000 votes, and now you want to keep it going. What sort of a station is this? And what's your boss's number in Bunbury? Your news manager in Bunbury. I'm gonna have a few words to say to him. I've got footage of everything. But look, I'm going to ring Paul Trander and just tell him he could have put that footage on tonight where the women said they're satisfied. Now, look, this whole thing was a setup. Now, those women there were basically governed, and that's done in collusion with the Labor Party, and I think it's pretty bloody lousy. I said it's not my. I didn't make the statement. Right, but I mean, well, how can I apologise for Barwick? I said it's not a statement I'd have used, but I didn't make it. Oh, it wasn't that good. I mean, what happened was, you know, the three of the women went on and said, oh, they're quite happy now, they understood and were quite happy with my statement. But they didn't go on the television. The sort of thing, just after we'd finished, this woman starts slagging Tony Shaw off, telling him he's a white something or other.
Honky.
Yeah, white honky. I mean, that was quite okay. She can call Tony a white honky, but Bobbitt can't say gin. I mean, where's the bloody consistency? Bloody outrageous. Anyway, I said to them, they cost me a lot of votes, so they should be happy.
You have to go home, Graeme.
But it was all.
A shower?
Oh,
Relax?
Yeah, I know the one you mean, I can't think of it. Yeah, I keep on calling it.
Stop filming me smoking. But did I ever show you the photos of Graeme when I first met him? He was just such a hunk. He was.
See how life treated me?
That's right.
Wore me down.
In the middle of the Nullarbor station, where I arrived on my trip. So we parked the car, and then out of the house came this Adonis. There he was wearing Bombay shorts and a shirt. And he was tall, and he was lean, and he had beautiful eyes, and he had a beautiful smile. And I looked at him and I thought, oh, wow, I like that, because the guy I'd been travelling with was really a bit of a pain. It was a long story, which I've refused to sell to the Women's Weekly.
Oh no, sorry, he does Central and the top score.
Well, call me at 10 to 2 then. All right. Okay. See him. I would love to win this election outright to send a real message to the parties they've got to start changing. Campbell Street, here we are. G'day. You Channel 7 today, eh? Thanks a lot, Jack. Yeah. How's it going?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good, yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I ought to go and vote for the press. Oh, thanks a lot, yeah.
I'm deadly serious. I've just spoken to the DRO. It's not on.
Which is the best one to go to. Yeah. Perhaps North Kalgoorlie. If I can get 4 out of 10 votes at the town hall, I reckon I'll be home and hosed. You should be out here playing your music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we don't read what's in the paper and all this. Yeah.
This is what's done. It was absolutely scandalous. It wasn't what I said. I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, we know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The television station told me they got inundated with phone calls and faxes from Aboriginals saying they supported me, so they changed the television's attitude. Okay, thank you. Well, like every candidate, I'm confident, but the other candidates will be confident too. Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. I obviously am. I'm going to benefit from the preferences because I think the Liberals will come in third.
What way?
Yeah, that way, man. Yeah,
right.
go in there. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Mr. Grant?
Yeah. And thanks a lot.
And so you're saying preference votes, you know...
Now, Keating never had any interest in Aboriginal people at all until he became Prime Minister. Then it was, quick, get me Aboriginals. And of course, he went overboard. I think Keating's speech at Redfern was an absolute disgrace. I apologise for the rest of the country, and I mean that's not the way forward. And most Aboriginal people know that. Yeah. I might whiz down to. I might go to Kambalda now, actually. Seeing as I'm on the road. Okay. Good. Katrina Lee, all right. I'll just pull up because I'm actually driving. Good. Yeah, g'day.
Yeah, Michael Flanagan. I thought you had some banners on. I thought it would have been you. I
All
didn't
right.
think it was you.
No, I'm just pulling up to do a radio interview.
You got a big lot of votes there at Kambalda today.
Oh, great. That's great. Well, I'm looking to win, yes. I certainly hope I can win. I just had a report from one of my boos where I've actually done okay, they reckon, at Balga. They reckon I get about 80%. Yeah, but Journey Bridge was there saying you can't vote this when he talks about cause people gins, because I didn't say it at all.
And we're standing on the veranda of the Exchange Hotel above the aptly named Skimpy's Bar. We can't show you what's happening down there during family viewing time, but here we have at least Graeme Campbell, the sitting member, a man of extraordinary interest in this very challenging seat. Graeme, is this it, or are you going to hang on?
Well, as I say, it is hard to say. I've just come back from Kambalda, and it's extremely good in Kambalda. That's Labor Party heartland, and you're getting the wind-up sign.
Polling has finally ended in the eastern states, and the 3-hour time difference means that it is still a long, hot day ahead in Kalgoorlie.
Now, can you come on the shade, or are you going to have the sunlight too?
I'll put you in the shade, mate.
Good.
Did Channel 10 ring you as well?
Yeah, they rang you up, they didn't ring me.
Oh, okay.
From this hill, next to the transmitter, the rest of Australia will get to see Graeme Campbell, win or lose.
What would you do if you didn't win, though? Assuming you didn't win.
I've become a TV journalist. Looks like a pretty easy job.
Yes, mate, how you doing? It's Paul Howard here from GWN in Kalgoorlie, Western Australia.
Hello.
I'm setting up for a live crossing.
Yeah, good, yeah.
What I want to know is I'm going to set up.
I was rushing up here because I thought we were late.
Now Tasmania, the seat of Bass looks almost likely to have gone to Liberal Party candidate and its former holder,
All Labor-held seats, and they're behind in all of them. The smallest sample is 4,000, but you get up to samples of about 17,000, so you're getting a fairly good picture. Like Michael Lee, for example, in his seat, 17,000.
I mean, we can lose it just in the Queensland marginal, so... I think, go on, federally.
And that looks like he's in a great deal of trouble.
I'm conceding defeat tonight to the Liberal candidate in the seat of Hughes Dana Vale, and I congratulate her on her win.
Unbelievable.
Although I've been defeated, I can say, I think, with some